Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special Let's Reminisce podcast. Here, we're talking about the top best controllers and the worst controllers we ever seen in the history of man. We have seen some awful prototypes. First, we're going to get into our first co-host here, which is Bio Devil Dom.
Hey, how's it going? I'm ready to talk about some shit tier controllers. You're gonna hear a lot of roasting and
next we have
interesting debate. Yeah.
Next we have Mr. Brandon Williams.
Hello everybody. Roasting's in order, and this is not Renegade this time.
Shut up. Next we have Mr. Reapers.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Fuck the Dreamcast.
Fuck the Dreamcast controller.
Fuck that controller. That's all.
Drillbit.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Long live the Dreamcast, best controller ever made.
Kick that guy out.
You did that just to trigger them, so.
There's
Kick him out of here.
place in hell, just saying.
Alright, Mr. Inferno Dragon, introduce yourself, good sir.
What's up, people? I'm here to mash plenty of buttons.
That's what she said.
Before we get any more lewd, we have Mr. Zombie Pyro Ninja. Introduce yourself, good sir.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Hey, how's it going? And yeah, the Dreamcast controller was so good, all you could do was launch Sonic off a cliff at 90 miles an hour.
And last but not least, we have Mr. James.
Oh yes, the best for last.
Did Brendan go? Yeah, I don't think you introduced Brendan.
I think I did.
Yeah, I did. I roasted Renegade.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Also,
okay.
Short-term memory done.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
Alzheimer's. No, I'm kidding. So we're going to start with me first, since I'm the first on this little docket. So I'm going to start with best controllers. Now we have the Sega Genesis controller. I thought this controller was pretty cool for the time. You know, it was basic, but it worked for its time. Next, we have the PS4 controller, the DualShock 4. A great improvement on the PS3 controller, the original, DualShocks and everything. It's a lot more comfortable. I like the aesthetic, just the grips and everything. It feels really good in your hand. Next, we have the Xbox 360 controller. I'm so glad that this is drastically fixed from the original Xbox controller, but I'll get into that in a minute. So I'm going to go into worst controllers. I have seen a complete abomination, and I'm going to type it up, and that is the N64 version of the Hori controller. It's fucking terrible. Why is the D-pad in the middle? Why would you do this? Whoever developed this controller, could you please just shove your dick in a blender, because this is complete horseshit. And there's this giant nub of the analog stick where it doesn't even look comfortable. It's like if they ruined the N64 controller originally, this just looks like it's redheaded stepchild, something that you don't introduce to the family. So that is bad. Now for other controllers, the original Xbox controller. Huh? Yeah, I'm showing it right now. I'm showing it right now on the stream. Next we're not live, by the way. We're just recording, but it's streaming the browser. So next we have the original Xbox controller. It's too big. I can't explain how someone could even pick this thing up, because it's the size of a rock. It does not fit properly in your hands, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the white and black buttons either on the side, where you could easily press those and go to the start menu or the options menu. I didn't like that. And I guess if I had another honorable mention, it would be the Dreamcast controller. Again, just way too big in height, way too big in scale. Because of this, they had this weird whole memory card feature where it read your memory card in a certain way. I mean, it was cool for the time, but the size of the controller really didn't accommodate, and it felt cheap, because you know how the sides are thin? It felt like you could break the controller apart with ease, so that's one reason why I didn't like it. So that is my top picks. So now we're going to move on in order, and next up we have Brandon Williams. I can't speak English today.
I cannot. Okay, well, so just say the best controllers and the worst controllers. That way. Okay.
Yeah, your best first, then your worst.
Well, my absolute best is definitely the PS4 controller, DualShock 4. It's probably the most comfortable controller I held in a while since the Nintendo GameCube and the DualShock 2 controllers. The absolute worst, anything that is third party is no good. But as far as first party is concerned, I have to go with the Wii Pro controller, the original one. You know that little circular pad with 2 nubs on it.
Oh,
I gotta get a picture later though, but that thing is horrible. You can't even play games on it. Oh yeah.
And Brandon, don't forget, you can post pictures in the chat for later.
Yeah,
I do
I
have
will.
the chat open.
Give me one moment.
All right. So, I guess Reapers is next.
Yeah, I'll go. The best controller for me is the Xbox Elite controller for the Xbox One. It's fucking expensive as hell, but it feels expensive. It feels good. The analog sticks are really nice. They feel really firm and everything like that. I don't really care about the changeable parts because I'm not planning on changing it. Maybe the D-pad because it's kind of stupid looking. But second best for me would be the DualShock 4. It's a really good PlayStation controller. The light is kind of an issue. Not really. I don't really.
It's the touchpad. That's the issue for the battery.
But I don't know. I mean, I like it. And for the worst, the absolute fucking worst would have to be the Dreamcast controller. And may I say, fuck that console too, because that shit sucks. So anybody there in fucking England, Brexit town, I'm sorry, but that console sucks.
This man is so.
The console is god awful.
The Dreamcast did give us.
The console was great.
It
Man,
did
that
give
thing
us
sounds like it's
Shenmue.
gonna explode.
It gave us Shenmue. Shut up.
Yeah,
My
it gave
dad's a
us games like
Dreamcast.
Shenmue.
I'm offended.
If Shenmue's so great, then it's dead.
What happened?
I said if Shenmue's so great, then why is it dead? Even though it's about to get.
Man, that's not.
Three
Look at that
is
fucking
gonna
logic.
be worked on right now. What are you?
I know that's what I said.
People are throwing money at it for no
Shut
good
your
reason
whore
already.
Yeah, you know what they're not throwing money at? That
damn.
phone and the Dreamcast.
Call me hookers.
Devo is calling. Better watch out.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, I have other stuff in here. You want me to post the pictures in here, Ren?
Yes, you can, because, like I said, there is no document, just the thoughts of the controller, the ideas. As long as it's not Photoshop, then, of course, what the fuck?
Oh,
Yep.
Christ.
This is
Hold on. My God. Why
The
is there a
Safecracker
compass?
Simulator controller.
Why is there a compass in the middle of this thing? You need to point me in the fucking console direction now?
you see, ladies and gentlemen, Namco. Our friends at Namco decided to put a compass in the middle just in case you got lost while playing this game, even though
In
it's
case
attached to
you're
your
a
console.
fucking idiot.
Why do I feel like that you would use that while playing Bully?
The golden compass.
It's the Tekken map finder, I mean, Jesus Christ.
This thing is it's a weird looking thing.
Okay, look, that basically looks like the PlayStation nipple fondler controller.
PlayStation nipple fondler.
I don't know if Ren posted the Duke in yet, but the Duke is fucking huge. Look at that thing.
Oh,
that
that's...
thing is
Oh, the fat
incredible.
Xbox controller.
Yeah,
Man,
it's the Duke.
I mean, I got big hands, but good God.
Damn, she
Like,
got a fat ass.
why is the face buttons all squished together?
I don't know what they were thinking. Like, Xbox, their D-pads were never really, like, that great.
I actually think the worst thing about the controller is the fact that the white and black buttons are in, like, way up there. Like, you can't reach that. with
Yeah,
your
if you
thumb.
press,
What the
like,
fuck?
B or Y, then you're obviously gonna pick those two buttons by accident, so yeah.
The other one, the other controller too, though, the placement of the buttons, you can easily just hit the black or white buttons like by accident. Like I do it all the time when I play Shenmue 2 on the Xbox.
Mhm.
It just is not a convenient place to like have those buttons. They should have put those buttons, you know, on the left and right or right above the
Or-
like. We will get to that other controller
Yeah,
though.
Oh,
I will go ham on that controller.
Save that one for later.
Most cool, but most
Yeah.
practical.
But Yeah, that one, like they really should have just moved button placements for those. I mean, the other Xbox controller is an improvement for sure, but it still has its own issues.
Yeah, mainly the D-pad and the black and white buttons.
I see James posted a picture here. I wanted to put an honorable mention. Oh, we're past it.
We will talk about that one.
Oh yeah, well we'll get back. I just want to put this in here. It's kind of a joke one. I will delete it as soon as you guys see it and everybody else. But I think this one's pretty interesting. I think you guys will agree.
Is that supposed to
Just
be a
staring into
terrible
my soul.
PlayStation controller? What the fuck is that?
Renegade?
Well, not to be something you wish.
All right.
I have
and
no
you guys
words
see
for
it?
that.
You guys all took a good look. It's all in there, and it's gonna be gone in 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Thank you so much for getting rid of that. It was staring into my soul.
You helped me, man. You finally helped me get that sort of revitalization that SpongeBob controllers are awful. So let's move on to the next person. So I guess Drill Bit is next.
Alright. Well, for the best controller, I think I might be in the minority here, but I do think Sony's best controller would probably be the PlayStation 2's. Mainly because it's just a vast improvement over the PS1 controllers. The D-pad's nice, the face buttons always are super responsive, and the triggers are always good too. I don't know. I find it a lot more comfortable than the DualShock 4. I think that they should have just stayed. I think with the PS3, they should have just stayed on the layout with the DualShock 2. As for the absolute worst, it probably would be the Atari Jaguar. Mainly because, look at that. Why does there need to be a keypad on the bottom? There's no reason to have it. It just looks
It's so you can dial for pizza.
Is that a fucking calculator?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude.
the thing is, they use it for some games. Passwords, I think Kasumi Ninja had a thing where you could put in a password that would turn off the violence, I guess, for parents. But even then, kids could probably figure it out quicker than them. So it's extremely impractical.
So I guess it's Justin's turn now.
Right, well, for my absolute best controller, it was tough, but I would have to easily go with the GameCube controller. GameCube controller, no matter what, just keeps fitting my hands so well. And the layout is just perfect. The shoulder buttons are always very responsive. The Z button, perfectly placed. I think the buttons as well, on this layout right here, it's actually very spaced out evenly. I mean, sure, the D-pad gives a little work, but it feels so very nice in my hand. I can't get sick of this thing. So when they re-released it for Smash Brothers and you couldn't find them anywhere, you could bet I was pissed.
I feel as though, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I feel as though the D-pad on the Nintendo GameCube controller, it should have been moved up where the analog is to the left. Because it would have felt a lot better maybe with the analog control. The fact that the C-stick is down there, it really doesn't help in certain games like Metal Gear Solid, Twin Snakes. The aiming is a bit imprecise with that controller.
Oh,
yeah.
Like the PlayStation.
Yeah, C-stick ain't the best for a lot of things. I
Yeah,
will agree on that.
Yeah, but that's why with Resident Evil 4, they just left aiming purely to the left control stick, mainly because of all the inconsistencies the C-stick gave.
But you guys didn't like the GameCube controller?
No, just it had problems with aiming sometimes, and I think that the D-pad should have been moved.
It's not a bad controller per se. It just has those few flaws. The C-stick could have been a better, analog. The D-pad, not the best. It could have maybe, had some improvement if they actually stuck with that design. I think, what was it, the one for the new quote-unquote redesigned one that they had for the latest Smash Brothers game, it had an extra Z button on the left side.
Is there a picture of that?
I can try to find it.
Alright, cool.
But
yeah. Yeah, the thing is that controller acted as a classic controller, so if you want Wii games with it, you'd have an extra button for it.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it was backwards compatible with the Wii, so you can use the old GameCube controller to make it work. They don't do that
Yeah.
anymore with certain consoles.
Some games are
Yeah.
perfect for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Correction, they did not. But they did re-release the controller again just for Smash Brothers.
Oh, figures. So Justin, what's your worst picks for worst controllers?
Oh boy. Let's see. Like picture folder can cooperate with me first. It was a really tough choice considering I've seen a lot of crap controllers in my life. I mean, my god. But if I really had to pick one out of multiple, this thing. This is the ColecoVision controller, everybody.
Oh,
Look at this thing.
It's a phone.
It's
It's
a,
a
it's
okay,
a
first off-
stethoscope.
is this
First
how
off-
you play Angry Birds?
Okay,
That's-
first off, this freaking number pad, it's not even here. Now, I was actually earlier today considering the Intellivision controller, but that actually has like little ticket things where you can put a layout on it, so I can forgive that. But this has nothing. The analog stick right here, it's such a damn stiff, awkward as hell thing to move. It makes you wonder how you can control a goddamn thing, and this keypad. I wasn't aware that I was using an early prototype of the Nokia phone.
That looks pretty
I mean,
At
terrible.
My
least
God.
this one won't blow up though.
yeah.
no,
like,
not the Note 7.
You know, now that you said that, it looks like C4.
Oh, so we're
Oh,
in Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh,
With a stethoscope function now, just like Red mentioned earlier. I mean, just too shiny. This
Television
controller
thing.
sucks.
I wouldn't even consider this a controller. It looks like a fucking ripped off door pad, to be honest.
Like a security pad or whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either, Ren, but sadly, it is a controller. I
Simon
wish
Roth
it weren't
Radio
either.
Shack.
Just this is so bad.
why does it have a star and pound sign? I can't wrap my head around where I would
That's
need
why
that in the
not.
game.
It's a phone.
Yeah, it's a
Why did I that
phone.
before?
Oh my god.
It's an early Nokia prototype.
Justin, you gotta have another one, man.
Oh,
Which
okay,
one do you
fine.
want?
I'll have another one.
Worst
I'll have
controller.
another one. Okay, look at this. The Virtual Boy controller.
Jesus.
jeez.
I forgot
What
completely
is
about this
this?
abomination.
What is this? Okay, first off, the two things with the sticks where you hold your hands, that is too skinny. I mean, consider someone like me, like a grown-ass man who has got big hands. Yeah, I can barely carry that. Why are the start and select buttons not in the middle like they
There's
should
two
be?
D-pads. Huh.
How is it- oh my
Why are
God.
there two D-pads?
I think that's the
Where's
biggest
the
offense.
analog in this crap? There should be only one D-pad. They should be in the middle, and this is just such a poorly designed controller. It's really the black sheep of Nintendo, honestly. It's worse than the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah, it doesn't also help that the battery pack is connected with the controller. So if you're into a game session you can accidentally unplug it and it'll shut off your game.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Well, that is assuming you didn't get a red
Oh
from
yeah,
the Virtual Boy.
because you know the Virtual Boy, you see in all red, and that was a great idea, Nintendo.
Yeah, tell my freaking eye doctor.
Yeah, I'd be like, sir, you're blind. Fuck off.
I mean, the technology for the time, it sounded like an interesting idea, but it was, I guess you can say, ahead of its time because of the fact that, you know, virtual reality was not a thing. It wasn't being really experimented on.
Mhm.
But the problem was that the technology was not there. Whereas now we have that technology, and it's a lot better. We've gone a long way from that.
It ain't no Oculus, that's for sure.
So, Mr. Zombie Pyro, it's your turn. What is your best and worst controller picks?
So I gotta agree with Inferno Dragon here and say that the GameCube is my bread and butter. The feedback from the triggers, the face buttons, the big A button, the fact that like the X, the Y, and the B are like right next to the A button, so you can just roll your thumb, is beautiful.
Yep.
I love it. And then for the worst, it's just such an easy transition. Oh, what's that over there? Is that Capcom? Are they gonna screw everything up?
Oh boy.
Yes, they did.
Oh my god.
They took a perfectly good designed controller and they made this plastic piece. I'm actually really upset because I wanted one at the time. It was terrible. The button placements, the fact that it's this big, like the GameCube controller was designed to be slim, small, just as portable as the big purple lunchbox. And then they made a chainsaw. And worst off, they made a chainsaw with a huge Resident Evil 4 product placement slapped right there. And the stand's pretty nice. I'll give them that. But just gaudy. It's yellow. It's gross. I don't want to look at it anymore. And then I gotta level on the fat Xbox controller was the bane of my existence when I was a kid. Ugh. I had such tiny hands that grew into gargantuan gorilla hands, so I can't use the DualShock controller comfortably. I've moved on to the Xbox One controller. Thank God they learned their lesson, because I rolled the black and white buttons so many times.
Hands
Ninja
out for
Gaiden was
Harambe.
terrible.
Oh, damn it!
God damn it, Ren.
Fuck you. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say he had Harambe-itis.
But yeah, I can understand why you would hate that controller. It's so fucking big. It's just, oh man. And the chainsaw controller, you know what? I wanted one too. Like, I remember they had a PS2 edition. I think they had one in red and one in yellow.
Yeah, that's the
Oh
red
no,
one is
I
the
didn't even
PS2
know
one.
that.
Yeah, they did.
Jesus Christ, this layout of the D-pad and the analog and C-stick right near it and these buttons is just not in a comfortable space. It just
Damn,
looks like a pain in
James.
the dick to use.
You know, I don't mean to diverge a little bit, but I do want to kind of bring up what James has dropped in the chat. I would agree that is probably one of the worst things to come out of Nintendo as far as like a controller is concerned. It's just that we haven't really had hands-on with it, so I can't really judge until.
Oh no, I'm just.
Something tells me we're gonna have to revisit this topic.
Oh, we will.
Oh yeah,
Part-
yeah, definitely.
I was just making a joke, but yeah.
Part 2, electric book.
Well, if I can interject, it looks like this is the charger where the controller goes, the base controller, but why would you need to charge it at the same time and have face buttons and analogs, and it's just so convoluted for its own good.
Because each end of the controller is its own controller.
Yeah, great. I got a Kit Kat bar for a controller. How the fuck am I supposed to hold this? It's so small.
And plus, they are supposed to go on the tablet part of the controller, which makes for the portable.
It sounds like it's
until
going to be
until you
confusing.
share it with the second player, according to the trailer at least.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be so convoluted. How can you share this big hulking thing, especially if you like run out of batteries? The person is going to be forced to use it because if it doesn't charge, the battery life I heard is like 3 hours, so that's pretty short.
3 hours?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's plane rides that are like way longer, like 8 hours. That's like it's gonna die like immediately.
What a well thought out machine.
You wouldn't even be halfway through your trip to Japan yet and already be dead.
Yeah. So man, I don't know. I'm having some serious doubts on this. I really am.
Mm-hmm.
I wish one day Nintendo would look at a GameCube, at like a controller layout and just kind of stick to it.
I mean, I do like the base Switch controller that looks like an Xbox controller. That's
I
not
like,
too
yeah.
that's not too bad. But this whole you need to charge it and it has buttons on the side is just really weird and convoluted.
My other problem with it is that I'm a klutz. So my thing is like, how would I know if I broke half the controller if the whole thing's broken? How do I replace half the controller? I think it's just going to be a big old crap show.
Not only that, but you'll be carrying that screen around, so good luck with that. Again, once Nintendo, well, they pretty much shelved the Wii U, but that screen replacement for the Wii U was about $150. So I could only imagine how it's going to be for the Switch.
I wish they'd just make a normal, high-functioning console instead of this half-assed, overly complicated looking.
Well, I think we're diverging now.
Yeah.
Well, that
from
was
the
a good
controllers
point.
to-
That was a good point, definitely.
Yeah.
Future discussion topic.
Oh, yeah.
And into the future.
So, who's next? Or
You're next, Dom.
I am.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. So So as far as like good controllers, I want to say like the original DualShock controller because going from the original PlayStation 1 controller, it was like revolutionary. 2 analog sticks on a fucking like mind blowing. You'd never think that it would make a big difference, and that's how we went over the years with like every controller since then. And I think like looking at that and how it's kind of come a long way from the original PS1 controller all the way to the current DualShock 4 controller, the one that's coming out now with the Slim and PS4 Pro. Like it's very kind of like telling how much innovation has gone into the like and I think I would consider the DualShock 4 as a second best. I like the size of it. I think that the bulkier design is better. My only complaint about that controller is the thumbsticks. I really wish they were concave, and I wish the grips were a lot better on that thing because I've had my DualShock 4 for like 2 years now, 2-3 years. And I can tell you within like the span of a year, it pretty much like faded away. So like, I feel like the grips could have been better. As far as other good controllers, the redesigned original Xbox controller, I did say that it had its own problems, but overall, I would say it's a pretty good and comfortable controller. My only issue is with some of the button placement, like the black and white button. The D-pad could have been a little bit better. And then, I would say I would agree with everyone else. Like the GameCube controller, not a bad controller. Say it just needed those few fixes that I mentioned earlier. Now, as far as worst controllers, I got a few. So there is this one. It was for the N64, and I like to consider this controller the tumor controller because of the way that it's designed. One side is very fat, and the other side is very thin.
What the hell?
It is
It's like
the
the
most
Picasso painting.
Yeah, it is the most awkward thing to hold. That like I feel like it is a controller that just has a tumor in it, like a giant ass tumor that just grew on one side of the controller. It feels so awkward to play with. The design per se is not bad, but if the bulkiness was distributed to the other side as well and not just one side of the controller, I don't think it would have been a bad controller. Honestly, it would have been a better controller than the default N64 controller. But because of the weird like shape of it and the way that it feels, it is not a great controller. What is another one? I would say this one's an odd one, not really a bad one, because technically the N64, I'm sorry, not N64, the Nintendo GameCube is kind of shaped like a boomerang a little bit. The boomerang PS3 controller, prototype controller that we never really got.
Thank God.
Oh, goodness.
I wouldn't say it's a bad controller. I just think it's a very odd design. I feel like you could probably easily snap this thing in half, or just, when holding it, it would just feel very awkward, or like your fingers would feel like you're too close together or whatever, But yeah, very odd design. And
you throw it in rage and it just comes back to smack you in the face.
Right, you throw it and it will come back around from the other. It'll hit you in the back of the head.
There would have been so many face injuries when Demon Souls launched.
Oh yeah, exactly. This weird looking one that I found last night. I don't know what this is, but this looks fucking weird.
Fucking Nightwing. That's what it is.
That's a Wu-Tang Clan controller, I think.
Yeah,
I remember reading about this abomination.
It's for the
Damn.
Wu-Tang.
It looks
We know
weird.
Wu-Tang. We know Wu-Tang.
And what was it? Man, we were talking about a lot of controllers. Speed this up a little bit, but The
All right, I'm calling Photoshop on that one. The fuck?
this weird PlayStation 1 controller right here is probably really bad.
Oh,
What? Ren
Yeah.
called it upside down boob.
upside down
yeah.
breast.
And then other than that, like Reaper said, the Dreamcast controller.
Wait a minute.
What?
Why is the... Who put the X there? You bastards.
Okay. Anyway, just to kind of end off, the Dreamcast control I think is utter ass. The D-pad feels way too hard and way too stiff whenever you're messing around with it. Shenmue, I swear to fuck, Shenmue will destroy your thumbs. The analog stick is not the greatest in my opinion. The size of the controller just feels awkward. The cable is on the opposite side of the controller where it shouldn't be, even though you can, wrap the thing around and clip it onto the plastic or whatever.
At the bottom, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty stupid.
The memory card thing to me wasn't so bad, although I've seen those things get jammed up and stuck into the controller before, where they were just too hard to get out. So I wouldn't say that the memory card was the biggest problem. I feel as though most of the design for the controller was just bad overall.
Mm-hmm.
And those were my picks. Also, honorable mentions to the Onimusha 3 Samurai Sword controller.
Oh yeah.
The most cool but impractical.
So, Mr. James, you're last but not least.
Alright. I was gonna say the PS4 controller, but Brandon kind of did that already, so... Oh yeah, Dom put that up there. I would have to pick for best controller for me, because I play on the 360 a lot, was the 360 controller. Definitely a lot better than the original Xbox controller. It's not gigantic anymore. There's no, what was it, the black and white buttons are gone, thank God. The only complaint I have with this controller was the D-pad's a little weird if you play, like, fighting games and whatnot.
Yeah, it's really circular, and it's not really like the other D-pads where, the buttons are spaced out.
Yeah, really quick, since we're on the topic of, like, D-pads, how do you feel about, like, the, and I know this is diverging from control, but the DualShock 4 D-pad? Because they changed the D-pad.
I think it's fine.
It feels good.
I personally prefer the DualShock 4 D-pad over all previous D-pads on PlayStation controllers. But that's just
I prefer the separate arrow design over what the 360 had. It has a whole like flying saucer on top of it, and then you just push it in one direction.
Yeah, like
It's
to add
not
on to
bad, but it could be better.
Yeah, like to add on to it, I do think the Xbox One controller is far superior to the 360, mainly because of the D-pad. It kind of reminds me of the NES's D-pad, in which it's just really comfortable to use. And honestly, I've never had a problem with it.
Can someone post a picture of the Xbox One controller, please?
Oh,
The
yeah.
fat box controller.
I just want to see it so we can do a side by side. There we go. Okay, that doesn't look too bad.
I do think the X-Bone's a little more compact-wise. Like, I noticed the buttons are more together. And yeah, the D-pad on that is a lot better looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it's time for honorable mentions. So here we go.
Hold on. Whoa. You forgot me.
Go ahead.
I never showed you my worst controller.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know how many of you like this controller, but yeah, fuck the N64 controller. Look, how do you hold this? Why is there a giant thing in the middle? It was made for Alien. Also, there's the Z button is on the fucking back. How am I supposed to pull the button?
Oh yeah, the Z trigger. I remember that.
Yeah.
I can't take this thing seriously. Like, it's a joke. I can't.
Well,
And the C buttons are terrible too, by the way. Oh my god. No. Don't even.
Well, to add on to it, apparently, like, one of my friends that owned an N64, he the C stick and have his hand on the Z trigger while he put his other hand on the D-pad, and that's how he was able to play N64 games.
Still,
I mean, he said
it's awkward to hold. It
Yeah,
really
if
looks like
it's
it.
awkward, it's not doing its job.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love the N64, but my god, this controller.
From what I understood, Nintendo made it so that a game would use the D-pad or the analog stick, so you wouldn't be holding all three prongs, but nobody developed it like that. That friggin' analog stick burned a hole in my hand when I played Mario Party.
Mario Party 1, to be exact.
Terrible.
It's in the worst spot ever for an analog, ever. Why would you put it there?
I think it was very easy to break too.
Yeah.
I mean, if I threw this thing against the wall, I'm sure it would shatter. So.
Well, no, I mean the analog would pull it down far enough to where it can break.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I had a real problem playing Jet Force Gemini with this thing. It really was so bad for shooters. I don't know how this got past patents, but, you know, I mean, it could be worse. It could be the Switch patents that we got earlier that looks like a horseshoe.
At least it ain't that boomerang. I mean, have you looked at that thing? My God!
I'd like. Oh wait, is James still going or?
Nah, I'm done. You guys kind of help finish it
off. I have an honorable mention. It's this weird motion control that was being developed, and then
what the fuck, Charles?
Yeah, it looks like a shake weight, and then
not shake weight.
And then there's another one, which I think Ren called a purple dildo last night.
How is it purple?
I did.
Yeah,
it's not purple.
No. There's another controller. This one in particular. Also, the patent.
The Bop It.
Controller.
Yeah, that's a Bop It.
Twist it. Shake it.
The patent NX controller is also really, really fucking weird. If I can, yep, I found it. This one right here. Honorable mentions to all three of these.
Oi,
they should have made it a W, so you can wombo with it.
Wombo.
Oh god, the Ouya.
To the Ouya controller.
The Ouya?
Yeah.
Oh my.
How about
God.
Uno?
But
It
the
looks
biggest
like the NX controller.
Like, the biggest problem people had with the Ouya controllers was that they were really cheap, and they just would break really quick.
All 5 people that purchased the Ouya.
Yeah.
You know what? It kind of looks like they tried to copy the 360 controller, because all the analogs are in the same place, and so is the D-pad.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys,
A lot of companies like to base their controller off of that one.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
I actually want to post something in chat as soon as I can find it. What do you guys think of the PS4 third-party Pro controllers?
Oh, Christ.
Yeah,
The new ones that Sony just licensed.
yeah, those. I'm going to post those.
They
Yeah,
look
get the
like.
picture up.
Gosh,
they
I
look
haven't
like
seen them
really
yet.
bad Xbox One controller.
Wait, that's surprising.
I mean, I haven't seen them myself personally, so I have no comment right now.
Oh, here's the
Yo.
link. And my God, what am I looking at?
That one is the what? Is that? That's not the Razer. That's the something else.
That's
It's
the other
called
one.
the Xbox knockoff.
Ah,
Hey,
yes, the
Leo.
Playbox 1.4.
The
Hold on,
play
hold-
box.
Hold on, for image
This
one,
second
what is
one
with this?
garbage.
What is with this
Jesus
D-pad?
Christ.
This isn't even a D-pad.
This is the controller that's going to confuse parents for years on whether or not their child owns an Xbox or a PlayStation.
The
It
first
just-
one's not as bad as the second one, though. Holy shit.
What
the
is
second
this?
one.
Oh no!
Why are the
What
edges
the
so
fuck?
jagged? You want to poke our eyes out or something, Sony?
What
It
is the
looks like a
bottom
boom
for?
box.
The bottom looks like it's for microphone functions, I
Yeah,
guess?
it's
Yeah.
Microsoft. It's I want to say Microsoft microphone.
Dude, it looks like a fucking Microsoft controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took the Xbox One controller.
This looks like a
Yeah.
dark alternate universe where Microsoft bought Sony.
Oh,
Very dark.
I mean, I guess it's fine if you preferred the Xbox One controller over the PS4s and just want to use that.
As somebody who prefers the Xbox controllers over DualShock, I'm so sorry. I would never touch this thing. I'll take the DualShock 4 any day.
At least
Who
he's
is
honest.
this for?
At least he's honest. That's what matters.
Woo!
I actually have another one. Let me just pull this up. So, I want to
no.
know everyone's opinion on this controller, and that is the Steam controller.
Oh boy.
I heard it's really rickety.
What
like, it makes
the
a lot of noise.
hell?
Hell
So,
What?
There's
I
like
mean-
mixed feelings about it.
What's with that circle right here in the
On
right?
the right, that's the
Even if
mouse.
That's the mouse.
So those are
Oh,
Noodles' nipples.
Oh,
Tweak
my
them to
God.
beat the
Oh,
game.
Jesus. No, why the Steam controller?
I just wanted you guys' thoughts
What
and
the hell
reactions.
is this?
Yeah, I keep hearing that
okay,
makes a
you
bunch of
remember-
I
money.
have totally
remember the
never
controller?
thought about buying one.
You remember the controller that Reapers posted, the PlayStation one that I called the PlayStation nipple fondler controller?
Yeah.
Well, this is the Steam nipple fondler controller.
Yeah, the D-pad is just so flat. Like, what was their intention to make it more touchpad-like?
They're
If you're
both
7 feet
touchpads,
tall.
but like the weird thing to me, the one thing that keeps me from buying this controller is every other controller, Nintendo, PS2, PS3, Xbox, whatever, the handle for the controllers go back. This one comes towards you.
Yeah, it's more
And
inclined
I
on the
don't get
grips,
that.
too. It's just more inclined, and I really don't like it. That's why I had
Yeah.
to post it.
Like, my biggest problem are where the face buttons are. They just seem so small to me, and I really don't like that it's on the bottom right
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
the face buttons.
Yeah, that should have been a little bit more up top to the upper right. It's just, I don't like the way this looks either.
On top of that, there are triggers behind the controller, not at the shoulders. There's also triggers on the back.
Makes no sense.
Have they
It's
not learned
terrible.
from the Z button being in a terrible place?
So I think it's time for these outros, but remember, the
Wait,
worst.
I have one more.
Oh
Oh,
god,
no.
here we go.
One more.
Wait,
You're,
there's
Okay.
more.
Man,
you're
just-
going to question your entire lives.
Is this a
excited.
thing?
Oh yeah, that is a thing.
What?
That's the thing. I don't see it yet.
Oh,
That-
These.
What the?
Oh no.
Oh God, Skynet.
it's a transformer.
It's an Autobot.
This is a Mad Catz controller.
It's a Terminator. Okay.
It's like if Michael Bay got his hands on the controller.
Jesus
Dude.
Christ! It's Jason Bourne.
Look. John Connor would be scared shitless if he got this controller for Christmas. We all
I need
know
to-
this.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Oh my god. But
I think I scared everyone shitless. Wait, what happened to that one fight stick, the one from Nintendo that looked like the N64 controller that I said I almost, that it looks like I shit out?
I don't
last night-
know.
Hold on, let me pull it up really, because that one has to be an honorable mention before we cut it off.
Mhm.
That one and then the alien control.
Yeah,
So hold on, I will post these.
Do you remember the Steel Battalion controller?
isn't
Oh,
that the
yeah.
command center?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, like what I will say is, even though it's a very weird controller, it is extremely
These two.
ambitious.
Oh my
Oh no.
god.
Oh no.
What? Why is that analog stick sticking in the middle? I need an adult right now.
I remember what Ren said. He said it looked like the inside of someone's colon.
I
What
did.
have you seen that you know these things by heart?
Ask Renegade.
I did say that.
Mommy, help me.
well, I did say that the N64 fight pad looked like something that would come straight out of my ass because I mean, look at it.
Gross.
It looks like an N64, like an N64 was just recycled.
It honestly looks like a better design than the N64 controller. Still terrible.
I don't even know what I'm hearing or reading, but these controllers are
Renegade,
so...
your fault.
Look, this is so bad. Yeah, what the fuck am I looking at? That's accurate. So, I guess we're gonna do our outros. We're gonna sign off. I'm not even looking at the chat right now. Oh. So we're gonna sign off. So, Mr. Devil Hunter James, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at DevHunterJames, on twitch.tv/TheHeroJames.
All right, Mr. Brandon, where can we find you?
Twitter, YouTube, Arcade Mention 504.
Mr. Drillbit.
You can just find me on Twitter at Drillbit777.
Thanks.
Mr. Zombie Pyro Ninja.
You can find me on Twitter at Zombie Pyro Ninja, and you can find me on my YouTube channel, Crispy Bacon Strips.
I love
I
that
didn't
name.
name it. I didn't name it.
I
Was
love
it
it.
randomly
Yeah,
generated?
nice defense there.
Bacon.
A glorious Canadian friend of mine made it up, and I hate him for it.
Glorious.
So, Mr. Reapers, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, and also DreamcastHaters.com at Reapers240.
Oh, you're the administrator.
That's right. I'm CEO.
Mr. Inferno Dragon.
You can find me on Twitter at InfernoDragon3D and my YouTube channel, InfernoDragon343.
Alright, then, Mr. Biodevil Dom.
Biodevil_Dom on YouTube and Twitter, and then on Twitch as Dom241996. Yeah.
Alright, and you can find me on Twitter at RenOperative_. You can find me on YouTube at Renegade Operative, where I will be uploading things and where my dog will be making noise. So, this is the TCP signing off. Hopefully we see you guys next time. This was a great discussion. I had a lot of fun with this. Look at all these memes in the chat now.
I'm traumatized. I don't know if I'll come back. I'm out.
It was a good discussion. I liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty zany.
Well, I hope you guys like it on YouTube land, so I'm going to cut the recording here. See you later.
All right. See you.
All right.
God damn you, James.